Hi everyone, and welcome back to another video from the Healing Waters Retreat and Sanctuary in Glastonbury. My name's Estelle Gillingham and I'm a forensic energy healer here at the retreat centre, and this is Juliet Yelverton, and it's Juliet's vision that has enabled this retreat centre to be established and to grow and grow. Today I'm going to talk to Juliet about some very exciting training that you have coming up. So welcome.
Hi Estelle.
Lovely to speak to you again. I have done some sessions with Juliet, one-to-one on trauma resolution, and I've been to your wonderful birth wounds trauma resolution workshop as well. And I have noticed that I am far less anxious before I start a session and feel far more confident whatever situations arise, that I can be present for a client. And I wasn't even aware that I was carrying any unresolved trauma, and that might have consciously or subconsciously determined how I would open myself up and attract more clients and build my business. So is this a common experience among healers, do you think?
Yes, I think so. I mean, what's important to understand is that practically everybody on the planet actually suffers from trauma. And it does limit us. So whatever your job, actually, if we have trauma in our systems, we're limited. But in particular, in the healing profession, if you have unresolved trauma, it makes it much harder to work, because the powerful healing comes when you can be really present to your clients. I mean, you've heard of the bedside manner. When in the old days, when a doctor had really good bedside manner, he had very good presence. So presence can only happen when we are clear from trauma, when we're not going to be triggered by our own issues or by other people's issues. So if we are carrying trauma in our system and we have a client that is also carrying trauma, you could simply be doing a massage, for instance, and your client might have some kind of activation from the massage, and then you as a masseur might find it difficult to deal with that person, like, gosh, how am I going to cope?
What does activation look like? What are the signs that someone's becoming activated with trauma?
Well, it can. There are different signs. So it depends on how intense the trauma is and the nature of it and so on. But for instance, if somebody is agitated or anxious or fearful or angry or withdrawn or very defended, they have a strong defense system, and that it kind of intensifies as you begin to open up with the work with them. So you might find that it's like, gosh, how can I actually help this client, because no matter what I do, it seems to be getting worse and worse, and it's and then you begin, not you, I don't mean you, but it's like when you're in that challenging situation, it's like, gosh, I'm not sure I can cope, or maybe I'm not good enough, or perhaps I shouldn't give sessions to people over 50, or maybe not pregnant women, or maybe
in case that situation that didn't feel comfortable and I didn't feel that I was able to help that person occurs again. So you would subconsciously or consciously begin to shut down the number of people that you feel that you can help.
Absolutely, that you start to limit who you work with. And the other thing is that you may feel very tired as a result of those kind of sessions and feel like you can't cope with so many.
Absolutely, because if you haven't experienced that calm state when trauma has been resolved, then everything's firing up through the adrenal glands.
That's right.
And you're very performance oriented.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's actually very exhausting,
and that's a very different state for your central nervous system to be in.
Absolutely, yes. Yes.
Can you tell me a little more about how the central nervous system is connected with trauma and how it functions and malfunctions?
Okay, well, basically trauma is a dysregulation of the nervous system. I mean, it's a bit of, this is a short interview, so it's a bit of a big subject really to share here, but the nervous system gets activated when you're in a life-threatening or perceived life-threatening experience, or you witness someone else in a life-threatening experience. And that for some reason human beings can't switch off this dysregulation. So after the shocking event is past, the life-threatening event is past, the nervous system is still firing as if the situation is still going on. So it means rather than having a comfortable kind of movement of the nervous system between activation and deactivation, between sympathetic and parasympathetic, it's that you get very strong highs and very strong lows. So that's your activation, is that you absolutely crash, or you absolutely go high with a lot of adrenaline, with a lot of excitement in your in the sympathetic nervous system.
Yeah, whereas the calm nervous system gives you the spaciousness that you mentioned.
Oh yes, then you can be very present. So when you've cleared trauma from your system, you're very able just to sit and be with your clients and be very present and very witnessing of what's happening for them. You're not coming in with your own thoughts and your judgments and or your own anxieties. Yes, you can just sit and be totally present, and that's spacious.
And that makes your sensitivity work for you rather than against you.
Yes.
As a healer, doesn't it? Because instead of sensing something that's potentially threatening and could trigger and activate your unresolved emotional issues and cellular memories, then you're actually present and available and able to do what I've seen you do, which is fine-tune into people's emotional and energetic state as you're holding them in this very beautiful relational field, which looks completely effortless when you do it, but I know, because I'm energetically sensitive, that it takes an enormous amount of practice and experience and focus, mental focus and clarity, and you can only achieve that clarity, I believe, when you have this access to your own awareness that comes from being in this open state that you're describing. But the lovely thing is that because you've pioneered this path and embodied so much of the quality of compassion required in the work and this state of grace and spaciousness, then you can very readily enable me and other healers like me to learn energetically about the qualities of that field. So although I haven't had years and years and years of experience of trauma resolution, I can enjoy the benefit
that's right.
of that very quickly in my own work.
That's right, yes.
It's a very beautiful gift that you're about to share with people.
And it's not about left brain learning, it's about really imbibing and modelling.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, I'm absolutely, really, really looking forward to you sharing this with more and more people, because I think it rocks, I think it's brilliant, and it's going to transform us and make us into confident and skillful, really capable healers.
That's right, and I think we're at a time on the planet where we really need to have a lot of people who are really conscious and to do the healing work. Because
the issues and the pain levels are getting deeper and more serious.
Yeah.
People are coming with more complex issues.
So we need really skilled practitioners. Just to have a certificate in a technique is no longer enough, really. Yeah.
It's about accessing a new level of compassion.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much, and thank you for listening.